New Yorkers, and the pandemic has likely amplified the magnitude of emotions many of us are feeling as we remember 9/11. We wanted to get some advice on coping, and Amy Arvary is a master clinical hypnotherapist who has created special programs to help both adults and children deal with the added mental strain on this very solemn day. Amy, thanks so much for speaking with us today. I think a lot of people are going to need your help. But to start off, on a very basic level, as memories haunt so many of us, comfort often and strength often comes in the form of a communal hug. And obviously, COVID has deprived us of that opportunity, and that makes it even harder for us to cope with all of these emotions.
It's true. It's true. Everything as we know it has changed right now. And that includes how we mourn, how we celebrate, how we move through our regular day. And certainly a day like today where we want to provide the right amount of respect and homage, and doing so can cause people a conflict in how they feel. And in the already very high state of anxiety and stress and depression, an event like this comes around and it certainly does have an effect. So having some strategies on how to get through these events helps people get through them a little quicker, a little bit easier, and perhaps maybe even shifting to a mindset where you can find some of those more positive things to focus on instead of those very, very saddening things.
Yeah, it's very tough. I mean, even me, I worked that whole episode. We were here for something like 2 weeks, and we were putting off our feelings, and we were holding back for a long time, and after it was all over, it just came flooding out. And every year we're reliving it. You very generously provided us with a list of coping mechanisms, some strategies, as you mentioned, for us to deal with the emotions that are surfacing today. Why don't you take us through what can help so many of us?
Sure. So practicing the pause is something that you might have heard about, something I speak about. And what practicing the pause means is there's this automatic response that comes, especially with an event like today. And being able to pause before you react as you normally would allows you a chance to feel different and to move forward through the experience feeling better and different. So practicing the pause is very, very helpful, and it's a very easy thing to begin the practice of feeling better. Guided meditation and hypnosis, which is what I specialize in, allows a person to be able to stop all that noise in their mind and to be able to really focus on what it is that they desire, what it is that brings them joy or strength, instead of invoking feelings of fear or stress. Incorporating things into the day that make you smile, if that's a flower, a sandwich, a phone call face-to-face to someone that can go through things that put a smile on your face. And that's really important, and that leads into becoming aware of your body's physical response to stress. When we feel those things in our stomach and our chest, probably today people are feeling pain in a lot of different places. Allow yourself to feel that pain. This is a tremendous day with great value attached to it. So move through that as you need, but be aware that your body is physically responding to these thoughts. And if you can give it a break for a couple of moments by injecting something positive, your body will feel better and you'll move through the experience quicker. Gratitude is a great way to do that. Today it might seem difficult, but in every tragedy, certainly there are opportunities to find gratitude. And that community spirit that you were talking about, maybe that's something that we need to be feeling a little more, and this event can bring that back to us. So we can look around in those moments to feel better, present themselves even in a situation like today. And those help.
You specialize in hypnotherapy. At what point, Amy, should people seek out more professional help from folks like you?
Well, when everything that they're aware of helping hasn't worked, that's usually when I get the phone call, right? People have tried medications, people have tried different kinds of therapies, different kinds of routines. They've tried to change behaviors themselves. But very often our behavior, our experience, all of what we are experiencing right now is based solely on how we think. And how we think is based on everything we have personally experienced up till this very moment. So learning how to adjust those things within us allows us to perceive everything differently, feel differently about it all. That's pretty powerful. We have that power, each of us.
Many people who lived through that very awful time have young children, and I know that sometimes people who are suffering these difficult emotions transfer those feelings to their children. How best to deal with kids and talk to them about 9/11 and the terrifying ordeal that so many people experienced?
It's terrifying. It is. And it could be certainly to children, and the children that have already experienced it going through that event. I've worked with a lot of those families. So right now, in passing the story along, I suppose the question is, what is your intention? And what do we want to leave behind in the story, right? And with every story that we tell, there is a feeling attached. So do you want to tell a scary version? Do you want to tell a version that has some sort of message in it, some sort of hope in it? That is where we have the ability to direct people to think and feel in that way, especially our children. So when we use the words that are scary and harmful and threatening, like we may have felt during that experience, then we are passing that experience on to our children. If we'd like to pass the learning of the event on with a different physical experience, then we can do that by using different words and by finding a different perspective, by making sure we include the hope and the things that came out of it, maybe that were beautiful, right? Like how we all did come together as a nation during that time. So it depends on the version of the story you're going to tell. So make sure you're clear on your intention with what you would like to pass on to your child and how they feel about themselves today and about the experience.
Amy Arvary, you mentioned gratitude. We're very grateful for your expert advice. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Our pleasure.